Hey Aaron, let's check this one out, buddy. So here we're asked to find the x-intercepts, basically just solve for x, right? What that allows us to do, why they're using that language, is that allows us to make y 0. So all of this mess really just equals 0. At this point, you could just graph this right into Desmos and you can see the solution. So don't think too much about, matching it with its graph, unless that's a specific MyMathLab question, okay? But let's work this one out. So basically what we have here is we have 0 equal to the root of x plus 2 plus root x minus 6 minus 4. Now what we're going to do first is we have to subtract one of these radicals. Doesn't really matter which one. It's totally up to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minus root x minus 6, and then we're going to add 4 to both sides. We'll do the same over here. X minus 6, and then we'll add 4 to that. So what that's going to give us is this. We're going to have negative root x minus 6 plus 4, and that is going to equal the root of x plus 2. Now we're going to square both sides. On the left, we have a binomial, so we have to FOIL this out. And on the right, we can just cancel. On the right, we just have one term, so that's going to give us, let me make some room for myself here. On the right, we're just going to have x plus 2, right? That's going to cancel off. Now, on the left-hand side, we're going to have this times itself. So negative 1 times negative 1 is 1, x minus 6. So we can just do that one out, right? And this times itself is going to cancel as well. So we're just going to get x minus 6 here. Now when we FOIL, negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. And the inside is going to be negative 4 as well. So that's going to give us negative 8 times the root of x minus 6. Now notice with our first term we had two of these roots here, so they're going to cancel out. Make some more room here. Right? Both these were going to cancel out, but now we're just dealing with the outside numbers, the coefficients. This negative 1 times the 4. The 4 is not under a square root symbol, so it doesn't really interact with anything that's going on under here. Lastly, we're going to square the 4 though. That's going to give us plus 16. And we can do a little algebra, right? We have an x and an x. They're basically gone if you wanted to subtract x from both sides. We'll combine some like terms. Negative 6 and 16 is 10, right? So that's a 10. If I minus 10 over here, we're going to get a negative 8. So my next line, we're going to have a negative 8 on the right, and on the left we have this negative 8 times root x minus 6. Next thing we're going to do, let's divide both sides by 8, negative 8, because we can do that. Again, remember that this negative 8 doesn't interact with what's going on under the radical symbol. It just reduces right here. So negative 8 divided by negative 8 is effectively gone. We're left with the root of x minus 6, and that's going to equal positive 1. Now what we can do finally is we can square this side, or both sides again, to kill that last radical. Now over here 1 squared is still just 1. Over here this square just cancels, and it's x minus 6. Now keep in mind there's not two values here because we're just canceling, right? When we cancel something, it just goes away. We don't have this plus or minus anymore. Lastly, we'll just do a bit of algebra, clean this up. We'll add 6 to both sides. So x is going to equal 7. And you can verify that by subbing 7 back in. You can also just go to Desmos and see what I did. I just get the equation equal to 0, which is basically our first step. We made y 0. You just literally blast this into Desmos. You get your graph, and you just look for your x-intercepts. We only have one right here because this graph continues to go up above the x-axis. So that's our intercept right there. It's at 7, so we can verify that with the shape of the graph. Okay, hope that helps, buddy.